Hi, this is Corey with Pinecone AI. In today's video, I'll be introducing retail products and how you can set up a gift shop for your organization to receive purchases either in person or online through an embeddable or through a kiosk form. We will also cover how retail settings can be selected to have tax inclusive or tax exclusive pricing, and how you would like to have your retail items shown to your donors with imagery and setting fair market values. To begin, from your dashboard, navigate down to Retail and then Retail Products. Retail Products is where you are able to see any existing retail products for your organization or add new products. For my example, I'm going to be working with an existing product. So I'm going to go in and select to edit that product. The name of the product is publicly facing. This is what your donors will see. A category is used for quick access to all retail products that share that one category. If you have postcards, stickers, mugs, pens, books, etc., selecting and labeling a category for those allows you to easily tap on a category listing if you're on a tablet, for example, or choose to select that with a mouse cursor if you're viewing the kiosk form on a laptop or a desktop computer, and show only the products that share that specific category. For the SKU, if you have your own SKU organization, you can use that in Pinecone AI, or you can choose to adopt our existing SKU structure, which is set in your organizational settings level. The description is publicly facing for your donors for the specific retail item. Pricing. The base price is the price of the product itself. If you have any member benefits that are extended, those are taken off of the base price for the specific item. And then the fair market value is the fair market value of that item independent of the base price. In this example, I have a base price of $6 and a fair market value of $3. That means the tax deductible amount to a donor publicly purchasing this item is $3. If I want to have stock and inventory management and have degradation of inventory whenever an item is purchased, I would choose to not allow unlimited stock and rather enter in a total item quantity. If you are working with an item that has limited quantity and then you want to add quantity to this item, you would simply go in, edit the item, and then increase and increment the actual stock quantity. Or if you have comped an item that you have got recorded on a retail purchase, or if an item unfortunately becomes damaged, you can go in and decrement the available quantity. You're also able to select just to simply have unlimited stock for this item. For all retail items, you are able to see any of the existing purchases for this item under the purchases category. So for purchases here, I have a full listing of the date and the payor. This, for example, most of the time would be the donor who is actually making the payment, the product name, the quantity, the total, and then the SKU. You're also able to see at a glance the original pricing of this transaction, any discounts that may apply. Again, this would be for a membership entitlement, any tax that has been either added on in a tax exclusive setting, or tax that has been calculated but not added to the purchase price in a tax inclusive setting. And we'll discuss that a bit later in this video. Finally, if the donor has covered fees, what the total fee coverage was, and then the total and the net amount received to your organization. To give you an example of the tax items, let's quickly take a look at the tax settings. So for your organization, you have the opportunity to choose whether you have tax inclusive or tax exclusive pricing. Tax inclusive pricing means if you have a $25 item listed, the item will be shown to the donor at $25 and it will be purchased at $25. And again, if there are any membership entitlement discounts, those are applied to that $25 purchase. This will recalculate the base price of the item after the tax calculation is included. So in my organization, tax inclusive pricing is on, so I am able to see a $25 item and then have the donor pay $25, have the tax calculated, and then the base price adjusted on the back end. This information is all available in our revenue reconciliation reports, as well as our retail purchasing reports that you're able to give to your bookkeeper or financial accountant so that they're able to see and calculate the tax, or not calculate the tax that's calculated for you, but rather see the tax that has been calculated for that item and the base price adjustment for that particular item. As a note, if you turn tax inclusive pricing off, this means that the donor will see $25 for the item. The donor will then have to pay $25 plus tax that is calculated at the time of checkout. In my example here, at a $25 item and an 8.25% tax basis rate, that means the total amount for this item would be $27.06. Pinecone AI calculates tax for in-person sales at the local jurisdiction where the purchase is happening. If you're using a card reader, for example, for your purchases at the gift shop, it is the location that you have set for that card reader and your organization. So this is set at whatever the local municipality is, who is your taxing authority. Pinecone AI is not distributing the tax to your local tax authority. That is up to you as an organization and your accountant to do so. We're simply calculating that tax basis for you. For any other items that you would like to see regarding the purchase of a specific product, you are always able to search by the payor name or the item, and you can always sort through to see what the total cost is for any particular purchase or the purchase date, etc. If you need to record a manual purchase, you have the ability to do so by simply typing in the donor's email address. If the donor is known in your database and system, it will pull in and find the donor information, pull their detail over. Then you would update the address information and simply add the product into the cart. Because we are dealing with products at an offline setting, you would need to select the product from the individual line item level rather than simply going through and tapping onto the item for purchase. Typically, this is not happening. You are processing a purchase transaction retail either online through an online gift shop or retail store, or you're actually doing that in person where you have the individual with you and then you're processing the payment live. So it would go through the online payment process where you could still record a cash or a check. This would just be for an offline payment entry entirely. And that's it for retail purchases. In a different video, we will actually look at the kiosk form itself and how this shows up to your donors at a tablet level or to your nonprofit staff or volunteers who might be working your gift shop. Cheers.